Okay, hello. I'm recording this DVD commentary for Toma Cheese. And I'm recording this very late. So, it's not really like a treat, but to make this more special, I turned on my webcam. So I have some notes here. This DVD commentary, I'm going to put timestamps of different stuff I want to talk about so that if you only care about one specific thing, you can just skip to that part. But I'll start by talking about the first Toma, because there's some, or not like super interesting stuff, but it came out like 4 years ago, and I was very surprised and very pleased to see that a lot of people still remember the first video. So when the new one dropped, everyone was like, "Oh my god, he's back!" There's little drawings of him in like all the sketchbooks, or like in a lot of the sketchbook stuff, and I still put him in like little video, or like I'll still like have little drawings of him occasionally in like videos and like sketchbooks and whatnot. I think this is the first like drawing on my computer of him. This was from like February of 22, along with like a bunch of other things in this file. But I feel like I might have drawn him in like some sketchbooks before. But yeah, then the first Toma was made for my I took a class in college called experimental video, and that class was about like making like art, like very artsy videos, like, you know, like, oh, like video of like a guy spinning around for like 10 minutes and like the colors are changing and like green screen, making very artsy videos, like stuff that would play in like a museum on like a projector on like a wall for like on loop all day. But I wanted to make like cartoons and films. I took that class as a requirement. So when it came time to do the final, that teacher was very cool. Stephanie, if you're out there, you're awesome, bro. The final project was super open-ended. So instead of making something like closer to kind of the example she was giving, I literally just made a cartoon that I wanted to make. And she was very cool and she gave me an A. I look very fondly upon making that because I came to class late on the last day. And then my thing was next up. So they played my video, and I think the version that we played in class, I had edited the one I submitted to bleep out porn and boobs when I say it in the video. But that was the first time I maybe since I don't really count like maybe something I did in like 6th grade. But that was the first time I feel like, as an adult, like, I had made something and it played in a room and I got to hear a whole crowd of people, like, laugh at it. That was such a really electric feeling. I don't really feel like I've gotten that since. That's kind of crazy. Well, maybe, like, a couple other times in college, but not really to that extent. So that was really special. But here are the drawings from the beginning. These were photos that I took on my phone when I went on vacation to like the Netherlands with my family around this time in like 2022. So there's this one. You can barely tell. There's like some like construction, like some like that tape to keep you from going somewhere, and like just a few pixels of it are over him just to kind of like give the illusion that he's there. And then I just have like a drop shadow on him. Yeah, same trip. I think this might have been Germany when we were walking to like airport or something. I took some beautiful pictures on my phone. I'll talk more about the techniques I used for making him look like he's there when I talk about the new one. And then this was the shower in a hotel. I'm really bad at recalling stuff. I don't think it was. I forget. I didn't realize until just tonight when I reopened this file that this picture that was in like just flash for a second with like no drawing over it in the video. I had like started drawing him here and it looks really shitty. And I must have just like given up and just like gotten rid of it, but I thought this was really funny when I reopened this. Oh, I don't think this photo shows up in the video, but I guess this was gonna. And then yeah, this image and this image, or these two photos just flash before the title happens. And then yeah, everything is animated in clip. You can definitely tell with like the camera movements, especially this zoom out. You can tell that this clip file is 12 frames per second just because the tweens are a little choppy. But yeah, I texted my friend Corinth and I was like, Corinth, can you voice this tomato's grandma? Corinth has a very grandma-y, like, I would say she has like the vibe, but it's just like she could do a good like old lady voice. I think that's what I was thinking at the time. So I called her on a Discord call, and we talked. We kept restarting and trying to have something funny. I don't think either of us are really improv people, so we were just like talking and trying anything. There were some weird ones. It's like a whole hour. It might be 2 hours. I think it was just 1 hour. But out of that whole hour, this snippet was like actually funny to me. Especially where I really to this day, usually when I look back on projects, I'm like, oh, I regret this. I don't like that. Like that was too much. But I am still really happy with the comedic timing of this ending. I'm very glad to say that I'm still proud of like how it's timed out, even though I don't think I really edited it. Like it's all very natural because this was a very natural conversation. I feel like this is me talking to Corinth, and the only difference is Corinth is doing a voice, and we're like low-key role playing, like living in this house and talking about groceries and stuff. But like most of my college projects, I did this in like a couple days. I probably animated. I probably clutched the fuck out of this because this was like probably due in like a few days or something, or like not due in a few days, but like I waited until I had like a couple days to do it. So that is why these drawings are very like this is like high-key just like an animatic. But I think a little after this, I in my head established that like the premise for like Toma, like the concept is that he is a tomato that lives in a magazine. Cause I really like the tactileness of like the scans. The backgrounds for this are actually like papers from that same trip to the Netherlands with my family. I think these papers are from like a magazine or like a map or something that we got from like a museum. So I brought them into I just drew like the rough like layouts of like, oh, like this is the kitchen and that's the stairs. and then I brought them into clip, and then I wonder if the background files are in here. Probably not, but I just put a gradient map over it to make the colors nice. It's probably a damn simple one. Excuse me. Excuse me, I'm sorry, that was gross. And then, yeah, I just clipped this funny ass clip from like the 1 hour we were talking, and we kept restarting, and I was like, we would reach a point where I'm like, okay, let's like reset and do something else, and we would like try something else for like 5 or 10 minutes. I hope Corinth like looks back on it as like fondly as I do. Well, not alright. Here. I think the process is like fun, but for that 1 hour, we were trying to have anything. I don't remember if at the end we felt like happy or like not happy with how everything turned out, but I look back very fondly on this. This was awesome. Oh, and then Eli Colebones did this amazing theme song, because this was when I still, up until maybe last year, I made all my music in BandLab, and I was texting Eli, and I was like, I cannot figure out how to make this sound good. The original song that I was making is in the EP I dropped like a few years ago. Actually, maybe like a couple years ago. Yeah. But if you listen to that, it sounds like really rough, because I did not know what was wrong with it, if it was like the instrumentation or like the rhythm, or I don't know what was up with it. So I sent Eli a really poopy version, and then I was like, can you help me like figure this out? And Eli was like, you have to focus, like it's the instruments, like you gotta pick one and like focus on it. And then Eli sent me like a beautiful version of it, and then like they like kept like grooving it up, and I was like, oh my god, can I just use this please? It's so good. So then I ended up just using it and then crediting them. And this whole thing wrapped up together very nicely in a couple days. At least that's what I remember. This was already a really long time ago. But yeah, like everything is just in this one clip file. I am a big fan of very, very minimal video editing, or like compositing for stuff, just because I'm kind of lazy, and like that's not the most fun part of the process to me. So if I'm able to just export it straight from Clip Studio and it's already like everything's there, then like I'm like a happy clam. And you'll see later that this same like ethos has kind of carried over to Blender, where I'll like do as much of the video editing in the file with the art as I can. Yeah, that's it for the clip file. So I guess now, yeah, okay, that's it with the first Toma. So I guess now I'll talk about the circumstance as to why I made Toma 2 4 years later. So me and my friend Momo were making a movie called Goo Goo Babies, and I think we started talking about it at the end of last year, and then I made my New Year's video, and then in February we keep pushing it back. So we were gonna make Goo Goo Babies in February, but then I was like, oh, I'm gonna be in the Philippines for 2 weeks, and we probably don't have enough time to make Goo Goo Babies. So I was actually in the Philippines with my laptop and a small Wacom tablet, slinging rope, trying to... wait, okay, the phrase is pushing rope. as a way of saying struggling. I was struggling. I should say struggling instead of. I was struggling trying to work on Google babies in cars and like in any downtime that we had in the Philippines on my laptop. In like airports. And then once I reached a certain point, I was like, near the end of the trip, I was like, we could finish Goo Goo Babies this month, but I think it would probably end up as a better final product if we gave this some more time. So then I had to think of a video that I could make on the airplane from the Philippines back to Arizona. Like a quick video that I could make in like a plane ride and like a day or two that I had when I got back home. So I had always thought about making another Toma after the first one, but I had just not gotten around to it. I was gonna make one with my friend Leo, cause Leo and Corinth, the friend that voices the grandma, are really good friends, and they were tabling together at Lightbox 2024. So I was like, oh, it'd be cool if I have like a Toma with Leo, and then the first two episodes of Toma are like these two best friends that I know, and they're tabling at Lightbox this year. I think me and Leo even recorded some stuff. And then like I kept being busy. I was like, oh, I'm making a student film. Oh, I have a animation job. Oh, I want to make this video about my CDs. Like it just kept getting pushed back. And then kind of like with my next album, it was like eventually always gonna happen, but I never really had the circumstances that pushed me to make another one. But this year, and trying to make a new video every month is pushing out those like situations that really pushed me to make stuff in college, where it's like, oh, I'm in a situation where I need to make something, so I'm being pushed in a sense where like I'm being very resourceful with my time and my resources, and I'm like in a position again where I like have to be creative, so like cool stuff happens. So oh wait, hold on. Yo, wait, how long has it been? Oh damn, it's already 18 minutes. Okay. That's my fault, bro. That's my fault. I talked a lot the past 18 minutes. Give me a second, bro. I probably gotta edit this out. That's alright. Actually, no, I don't want to edit this out, bro, because that's kind of a lot of work. I'll just have a chapter of brain fart, because I lost my train of thought as fuck. Oh yeah, so I had just kept pushing back, like, oh, I'll make another Toma with like this friend, or like, oh, I'll make another Toma once I finish this thing. So the time had finally come where, I need to make a video in 2 days, and all I have is my laptop with Blender on it. So I have a friend, Thee, that records some of the Discord calls when we hang out and like play games and stuff. And there are, from last year, there are like a good chunk of like 5-hour, like 4, like 3-hour long, like just recordings of Discord calls. So on the plane, on like the 12-13 hour plane ride, I was like, okay, I'll listen. And also waiting in the airport in Taipei for 7 hours, I was like, okay, I'll listen to all the I'll listen to all these recordings, and I'll do what I did with the Corinth like recording session, where I'll just find like a snippet that would be kind of funny, and then I will just like record, or like just animate it as like an animatic, as if it was a new toma. So this is like the opposite of the first one, where like the first one was recorded with the intent of making a toma, and then this one was me like looking for any audio of me and my friends being funny that I had access to at the time, that would like I would be able to like mold into something that I could make a toma out of. Let me find, actually, I usually like prepare all the PNGs that I use for these, but let me actually find the first drawings that I did of me and all my oh wait, it's in the Blender file. I'll start by talking about these intro images. Those drawings from the first one were very rough, so I wanted to clear my name with these new ones and like show off that like even if I'm in a rush, it's not supposed to look that rough. So I am pretty proud of these like 3 like splash pictures. Toma's really easy for me to draw, and that's why he's in all those sketchbooks, and I do doodle him a good bit. Even though I'm not a huge like OC person, there's a huge difference in how I draw him now versus how I drew him in those first ones, because I've iterated on him so much just because I doodle him a lot. So I feel like these proportions are like what I would consider like perfect for him. Like I always draw him like this now. And then I'll show you a little bit of the layers and how I got him to kind of fit in this scene very well. So here, let's just start off. I think the most important thing is the colors. And this is, I purely just do this off of like what looks good. I think I might have color picked like the sky as like a clear white, and then yeah, this is the color layer. I might have started off, actually no, I did not start. I think I started with this, the white of the clouds as like a base, and then kept changing the colors based on what looked good with the environment. Same thing with the outline. So once I thought his colors fit the scene, it's super easy actually. All I did was this layer is like I duplicated the outline and then blurred it with the Gaussian blur at like maybe very slight, like 3, and then this blurred version of the outline is at 42%. This is like a little drop shadow. You usually do this if you're trying to emulate the way that like animation cells would be on the background for like old traditionally animated like cartoons and film. I only did it for this one because it kind of fit this picture, but generally if you're trying to make it look like it's in the environment, you probably don't do that. But anyway, I just did it because I liked it, and then I added just a little bit of like shadow with the airbrush tool. I think up close it doesn't look that good, but like zoomed out, I feel like my eye kind of buys that that's his shadow. I do all of this just by eye. I feel like it's never really like a hard science. And then the only other thing I did was that just the shading and like the highlights. I literally just use the gradient tool with like a white or like a light and a dark that kind of fit the color temperatures of like the art. So here, let me turn off the clipping layer so you can see what this looks like. So this is literally just me with the gradient tool making a gradient of white here and making a gradient of dark there, and then using a clipping layer to just only have it on top of the drawing. It's not super subtle, but like here's what he looks like with it, and then here's what he looks like without it. I'd say it's kind of subtle, but like that alone like really for my eye like sells that like he's here right now, or like he is like occupying the space. And then the other two, it's the exact same principle, or okay, here with this one it's the exact same principle of just picking colors that kind of match the environment, and then having the highlight and the shading like match like the light source and like how it's bouncing off the environment and hitting him. And then yeah, the same shadow. This one, looking back, like the shadow I did doesn't really match the leaves like hitting down that well. But yeah, this one is literally just like the drawing and then putting a 71% like shading layer with multiply over it. Oh yeah, and then I forgot to mention that all these photos and the other ones in the intro for this new Toma are what's it called? From my trip to the Philippines. I took these on a digicam that my partner gave me. I love the way the digicam processes the photos. It's a really great in-between between like new digital photography on like phones where it's super like over processed and like film. I really love how a lot of these digicam photos turned out. So I just picked these three and then a couple to flash in the intro. And that's pretty much all I did for this new Toma in Clip Studio. Everything else was done in Blender. So I animated this all on my laptop. The 12 hours plane ride was spent just listening to the audio. I fell asleep for a bit. Excuse me. And I just skimmed through hours and hours of us bullshitting and like not even bullshitting. There was just a lot of like just quietly hanging out and like parallel like either playing or like drawing. There was a recording of me and my friends live streamed a Tetris tournament, and there were a lot of really funny moments in that one, but so much of the humor in those moments was very specific to the friend dynamics and like us talking to each other and like the situation that night, that it did not really lend itself well to being put onto my friends as fruits. So I ended up picking this kind of more low-key conversation. I would have liked to like find a clip that had like a funnier note to end on, like the first Toma. But I like that this one is just like chiller and it's like a lot more of a conversation. The like layout of the room I had specifically like made to match the energy of me not really being in the conversation and my other friend playing a game. And I also had that to explain why the sound effects are playing all throughout the video. This video's audio is mixed very poorly. Because I'm not a huge like audio guy. Damn, 30 minutes already, sheesh. So yeah, so like throughout the video, okay, here, the Toma music, a song I made called Date and Time is playing very quietly, but you can also, the Twilight Princess music is playing really lightly, and like the sound effects. So that's why later in the video I show that Twilight Princess is playing, just to like explain, in case you don't notice like the really small controller right there, that like someone's playing a game. But yeah, I had to design this around the way the conversation was, like that these four of my friends were the main ones talking, and that me and my other friend weren't really as involved in the conversation as much. This happened very naturally. I didn't think too consciously of like, oh, like this has to be here and this has to be here. Just because I feel like it had to be kind of set up this way in order for like everything to flow naturally and for this to be very easy to animate in a day. This is technically my February video. And then the GameCube one was technically my January one. But yeah, anyway. The intro, I realized I had to reanimate because the original clip files, I was originally going to use the original drawings of the logo and the animation to save me time, because I had to animate this in a day. But I forgot to grab, oh wait, here, let me run it back. So I spent the layover and the flight just listening to the audios, and then I had found this clip, and then I had like timestamped a bunch of moments in the Tetris tournament, but I just could not find anything that could top like the very, very like good comedic timing in the first Toma, and I couldn't find anything that could really top. I found this clip of us talking about cheese, and like a pretty early on, like one of the first like recordings of our friends that my friend has. I found this pretty early on and I had it timestamped. But I wanted to skim through all the recordings just to cover all my bases to make sure there wasn't anything better than this. Cause I had remembered some pretty funny stuff, but I wasted a lot of time listening to all those recordings cause this was the best thing in them, I think. So even when I was back home, I was skimming through the audio just to double check before I like went full send on this. So yeah, this was all done in Clip Studio. The logo this time is like a grease pencil thing that's just like in the same layers as all the character animation. I would have liked to have like the same paper texture that the first one does, but when you're animating something in a day, you kind of like let stuff like that go, which I feel like is a good thing, just so you're not like splitting hairs over little details like that to make everything perfect. So these all the motions and tweens and stuff are all done by just me sliding the images around. I just exported them and then put them in the scene and then like removed the lighting. And then this let me reuse that first, or I guess the first time I animated this, I also just reused the animation of the text moving up. This was nice because the first time I animated this, it was at 12 frames per second, so it was like a little off sync with the music. I'm still a big fan of how 4 years ago I like did this nice thing that kind of matched the rhythm of the song. Um, and then yeah, Eli's beautiful last rendition of my Poopy Band Lab like theme song. Um, and then yeah, from there, I just here, let me pull up the storyboards that I did. And then let me hide all of these. So yeah, these are the storyboards. I was trying to, so I was like, okay, it's 3 minutes, and I gotta animate this in a day. And the first Toma was low-key just an animatic, so like I'll just do the same with this. But I feel like even like when you're doing animation so limited, the expressions go a really long way towards selling the like the voice acting and like the performance. So like I still try to keep things very like stationary. Like I feel like usually I would, like if this was more animated, I would have like the camera pan to go from here to here, but I felt like since everything was super choppy, like that was a very negligible like it's more natural to have it just cut rather than like spend the effort having that tween and reusing it later on. And then I also just tried to keep the poses that everyone does very limited or like reusable in another spot. Like each person total, I did maybe 1 or 2 different drawings of like the actual fruit, and then or maybe like 2 or 3 different drawings of each fruit that I was just able to reuse in different ways, and like mix and match like the expressions and like the body a lot, to get a lot of use out of so few drawings. And then yeah, it was very easy animatic. I really like when you're doing something so limited, you have to be very conscious of like how much work am I creating by like creating another angle of the same room, because now I have to have like new like character sprites for everyone and like a new background. But I figured this like reverse shot was very important, to show that like he's getting more involved by like turning around and to show the TV. And then yeah, pretty easy. Okay, I did the animatic after the same night that I edited the audio, and then that same night I started animating, and then and then that same night I went home and I just animated it all, and I stayed up kind of late. Not too late though, not like crazy late. And then yeah, I just damn animated it. I mean, it's just damn fruits. I really like, I had always liked this rough ink pen in Blender. I really wonder if either this I feel like this is what influenced the wiggle brush to be made in Clip Studio. But I don't know what came first. But yeah, this was just very easy to like just put together. It's just an animatic. I just had to color and like Ice Dog and Bigfoot. The entire thing is just one grease pencil object, which was actually kind of a problem in the sense that it was a lot of work to do this like this, where it's all just one grease pencil object. I do this usually because I think it's easier rather than having different grease pencil objects to manage and tween and have different timelines for their position and their movement, and like different things to keep track of. But in hindsight, this would have been a lot faster to make if I had just had different grease pencil objects for different shots. Because a lot of this cartoon is cutting back to different shots, like this shot and this shot and this shot. Like there's only maybe like 5 or 6, maybe 7 different shots total of like shot, reverse shot, wide shot, like this shot. So it would have been much easier to move the camera to 4 different grease pencil objects with different backgrounds, but instead I had to go by hand and like copy and like paste. So I have a layer that's just the table. Every time the table is this one and that one. Here, I'll just show you that. So like this table, that table, this table, that table. And then I had the like the character animation follow the same thing to the animatic, where it's like this angle, that angle, this angle, that angle. This was a lot of extra work that I created for myself accidentally. And then because I'm a little lazy, the backgrounds are just one big PNG that I keep moving around with the animation, so that I don't have like a bunch of different backgrounds to manage. And then, yeah, this background is another piece of paper from the same trip to the Netherlands, I think. And then, yeah, the same gradient map as the last time. But I did have to... I took this picture of my CRT in my room to use as a texture for the 3D model of it that I have in my room that I used in my last couple videos. So I just did another gradient map on it so it would match the background, and then like slightly blurred it so it didn't look too sharp and like kind of out of place. Other than that, there's nothing really not much else to comment on with this blend file. It's pretty straightforward. I learned a good lesson by having to repeatedly like copy and paste the same positions and drawings. So I know to pick my battles now with which like different objects to deal with and which ones to kind of leave behind. Oh yeah, the last thing. Oh dude, I have not looked at my notes in a really long time. Okay, yeah, the last thing I'll show you is the video editing file for this, which I think is really funny because I achieved my goal of like having everything in the first export in the from Blender. Like the intro is animated into the like blend file because it's just like image planes and like the grease pencil object being the text. So I achieved my goal in that way where I did not have to animate pretty much anything except for adding the credits. I had to animate the credits in Clip Studio to get the same kerning of the text to expand the same way. I was always proud of that. I always like how stuff like that looks. And then to add the Derek.org thing, the only other thing that I had to like video edit in this was I had the Twilight Princess sync up with the sound effects by just taking that clip of the recording and then like cropping it and then just putting it right here. The photo of the CRT has the reflection of my room in it, and when I was trying to make the footage like kind of blend in more with the colors, I put a multiply layer over it. Or here, which blending mode is this? Oh, it has the overlay blending mode. And I put a slight blur on it so that it wasn't too sharp. And then I was surprised at how like really good it looks, because the reflection of the photo, or like the photo of the TV, the reflection of the glass shows up over the footage when the footage has the overlay over it, and it looks like a real like recording of the TV, which I thought was really cool. And then yeah, if you really pay attention, like the sound effects of like what Link is doing match up with the audio that's playing. I thought that was the least I could do, with this being like my worst mixed audio in like a video that I've done in recent memory, because of like the Toma music and the Twilight Princess music and the sound effects and everyone having different mics, because it's literally just like an OBS recording of like a Discord call where everyone has like different volumes. In Audacity, I did try to kind of like make people more quiet and loud to kind of have a nice bass line. But yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I video edited. This last clip is not in sync because I had clipped it out in my like recording of my screen to just have this one clip, so I wouldn't have to download like a 4-hour thing just to get this one thing. And I did not want to. I realized I needed like one more second because I added this like reverse shot of Toma being quiet last second. But I did not want to just go back. Like, you can't even really tell that this one's out of sync, or that this one doesn't correspond with the sounds. The last thing that I forgot to show you in the blend file was there's a frame in the grease pencil. Oh yeah, it's this one down here. These are the initial drawings that I did to kind of like assign a fruit to all my friends. My friend Richie told me a really long time ago, when I was thinking about making another Toma, that he would be a star fruit. I don't know if he remembers telling me that. There was someone in the comments that was like, is that guy supposed to be a star fruit? And I was like, yes. So that actually surprised me that someone got it. Actually, you know what? I said earlier that the other proportions for Toma were perfect, but I really like these too. And then yeah, I was gonna make my partner a clementine. But when I showed him, he actually wanted to be a lemon, and we both thought that would fit him better. And then these are different attempts at me like trying to figure out what fruit you would be. And then I briefly tried green onion for him, but that didn't really fit. But instead, when I drew the green onion, I was like, this has got to be Eli. But you know what? I still haven't shown Eli this drawing of what they would look like in Toma. But I should send it to them. I'll probably send it to them after I finish recording this. Damn, 48 minutes. Fuck. Actually, okay, I don't know why I keep saying damn, because this is like a pretty comprehensive behind the scenes as to like my process for these videos. The other thing I will say about this clip file is that bro, I just keep going, bro. Just give it a rest. The fill bucket was very like, excuse me. There's a lot of little imperfections with like the fill and the line art and like the background bleeding through. But I like learned to kind of just let it go and like be chill with like a lot of the imperfections. There were some that like bugged me enough that I like adjusted them, but most of it was very like, I kind of learned to just embrace any imperfections that it might have had. I think this might be the last time I use this wiggly brush, just because I do think I prefer the smoother lines, kind of similar to what me and Eli were doing with the grease pencil in Ice Dog and Bigfoot. I think they just look nicer. I think I just like the control more than the kind of randomized wiggle that this ink brush in Blender has by default. I did adjust it a little though from the defaults because it's just too much sometimes. But yeah, that's pretty much damn it. The next video is not even like anything right now because we moved Goo Goo Babies again. So as of right now, I truly have no idea what video I'm gonna make in the next week to fulfill my quota. But I have a couple nice leads. And like always, I'm gonna go with the flow and let fate decide, and be very flexible and awesome. But as always, I hope that you learned something about the process, and I hope you're able to use any knowledge you've gained to make something awesome yourself. And if you have any questions, you can always let me know in the comments or message me wherever. And that's damn it. I probably won't have my webcam on next time unless I'm horribly late to record my behind the scenes video after the video's posted like I did this month. Yep, that's it. Thank you. Bye bye.